What's going on, everybody? Good evening and welcome to the show. We got a pretty interesting show on tonight. We've got a first for Russ Explode Studios. Give me just a second. I'm sending out one more share real quick. It seems like I need to make that video just a tad bit longer. I can't ever get that last share in. You know how that goes. So, cool. Got that done and taken care of. So, I hope everybody's having a great week. And I got to throw this in there for midnight. Happy Black Cat Appreciation Day. So everybody that has black kitties out there, happy Black Kitty Day. Um, I didn't know there was a Black Kitty Appreciation Day, but apparently there is because I've been seeing posts everywhere. So I just joined in. I was like, whatever. Um, so we got a great show tonight. We got a life coach on. We got Mike on tonight. We're going to talk about some of the things that he does, how he got there, when he decided to get there. You know, the inspirations. We're going to tell funny stories as always because I have a plethora of them. So we're going to start out by talking about our sponsors. So real quick, we'll run through the list. We've got Lisa Melone with Melone Management. Do you have a project or a campaign that's running on Indiegogo or Kickstarter or any other type of crowdfunding that you need help doing shares, doing stretch goals and stuff like that while you crank out the project? Reach out to her and you can get a free 1-hour consultation and she can give you a list of her services and what she charges. We also have Naughty Faeries with Miss Wendy Steen Shaner. Check out Naughty Fairy Stripper Assassins. You got links in the comments for her Etsy page. Get caught up on all those wonderful books and check out some of the specials that she has going on there. We also have Outpost 426 Studios with Scorpiana issue number 3 live on Kickstarter. There's a link in the comments, or not the comments, the description of the video, and you can check that out, as well as some of their other projects that are available at Outpost 426 Studios, such as Into the Suck, as well as the Mighty Might, which is funded on Kickstarter, and the soon-to-be Black Rabbit. I'm so excited about that. Cannot wait for it. We also have 183 Degree Studios with Alfred Trujillo, Doobie Doobie Doo, and Miss AZ Power Girl Kara Nicole. Check out their stuff at 183degreestudio.com and check out Fire Bitch and Fire Bitch 2. Great books, funny, hilarious, and a great ride. So check them out. And we also have DPopp Customz. Do you have a print that needs some jazzing up? You want to put it in a cool frame, throw it on the wall with lights, music, all that kind of cool stuff. Hit up DPopp Customz and you can work something out with them, or you can get a really cool frame for your prints. And we also have Codex Entertainment LLC with Luis Torres. Check out his awesome books. Lily the Demoness just funded on Kickstarter. Chapter 5 did hit 40K because it's a great book. And he also has Ace and Starlet, Whispers in Necropolis, and the soon-to-be VR XOXO, which will be releasing this fall. So can't really talk about it, but we'll be talking more about it later. So without further ado, we're going to ring Mike out. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, Russ, how are you?
I'm doing all right. I lost my sponsor list, you know, getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning and, you know, all the stuff that I have going on with me health-wise. So I have a list that sits here so I don't accidentally leave somebody out, and I'm like, oh man, my list is gone. And the funny thing is it's probably like sitting underneath my drawing pad here or something, you know, and whatever. I did good. I think I didn't forget anybody.
The sponsors are dropping off as you talk about this, but
Oh yeah, I forgot about Hazzum. We forgot about Hazzum Studios. Check out Roadkill, Rampage, Pitter Patter, and Peanut Pudding and Jelly. There we go. That was one I missed. I knew there was one. Got you this time, brain. I win.
boom.
So you're a life coach. You mind explaining to people a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, it's an interesting version of a friend slash therapist, and not as much intense schooling as a therapist, but a life coach is at least the way I was trained, was a certain kind of great comments that you're getting. The way I was trained was a certain in-depth conversation. Well, what makes it a life coach different than a therapist or a psychologist is that we just start with right now, what you're going through at the moment, and what we could do today moving forward, versus oftentimes a lot of is figuring out, you know, how to dig things out that may have happened to you. So it's a very artful, deep, ask a lot of questions as a life coach, which I think is my primary job, but it's not as easy as you think. Maybe you're not thinking that. Yeah, it's and it's been quite a ride. It's been quite a ride.
So what is this something that you always wanted to do since you were young, or is this something that you just kind of, fell into?
I've always been really, really, and even when I was younger, I loved to. Um, I used to look at my neighbors' windows. I thought they were interesting when they didn't know they were being watched. And I, and then in about 2007, I remember telling someone that people like to come to me for advice about more depth things instead of just surface stuff. And I remember telling my friend, I want to be. How do I get paid to be people's friend? Which sounds super egotistical and for a friendship. And there's versions of that are a little bit creepy. We won't talk about it, but and then in 2009, I found out that an actual thing. I met with one for about 2 hours, and at the end of the conversation, she just said to me, "You have to do this. What's your?"
Oh, is that me or is that? Oh man, I hope that wasn't me losing connection. All right, come on, let's see here. Turn Wi-Fi off. There we go. I reconnected my stuff. I don't know if it's me or if it's you. They might try going out and coming back in. So I don't know if it was me that glitched up or if it was you. All right, hold on. Maybe you're good now.
Yeah, it sounds good on my end.
Oh, it does sound good on your end? Okay, you're just a bit laggy on my end. So I apologize for that. We had a storm that rolled through a week ago, and it screwed all the lines up here. So this charter has been fixing the cable, and I'm like, I hope it's not me losing internet. So I just shut my Wi-Fi off. I'm like, all right, we're just going to do this cell phone style. So I apologize for it cutting out on that. And Dell asked, were you nervous when you did your first consult as a life coach?
It was a little bit intimidating at first, just because you think you know things, and then you never know the of answers you're going to get and how to unwrap. I don't know if it was nerves, it was more excitement to finally be in a career that I chose versus I had jobs to get me through schooling, and then when I stopped going to school, I still had the same job. But I just asked on Facebook if anybody wanted to be like a beta customer for me, and she ended up being my client. So it was really, really exciting, and I would test out new things that would skills along the way. So I wouldn't say it was nerves; it was probably more.
And then you said, "Do you make good money doing that?" Or yeah,
I do.
Try. All right, I don't mean to cut you off. So try going out and exiting out of the browser and coming back in because they said you are losing connection. So just if you come out, go out and come back in, it'll fix it. I apologize. I told you, technology.
No problem.
Sorry about that, folks. We're going to get them right back in here. You got to love technology. That's how StreamYard works. You have, it worked perfectly fine for 15 minutes while we were in the backstage, chatting. And then, you get in here and it's like, ha, 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 ha. Just when you thought you had it figured out. Fired. The whole lot of them. So let's see here. While we're waiting on him to come back, guys, please check out the charity auction. It's not an auction anymore. Okay, check out the charity claim sale that's going on. So the charity auction closed Sunday. We're over $500. We got some items left over. I put them in as a claim sale. We lowered some of the prices on the stuff, and you guys can go and claim that stuff. and all the money goes towards helping the kids. So please check out the stuff that's left. We got some cool stuff from CB Zane. There's the Kitty Pryde and Lockheed piece. There's also the Ahsoka Tano piece that's on there, and there is the pieces from Warren Brown are still available. We got the pieces from Martha Schwartz that are still available. All kinds of good stuff. So guys, please check out that claim sale. Pick up some of the pieces if you can. And how about the kids? Right now we're sitting at around 20 boxes that we're going to be able to send out to the kids, which is absolutely spectacular because it's on average like 125 books per package. So that's going to be like, 2,500 kids that are going to have a huge smile on their face when they get those comics when they're in the hospital. So please check out the claim post. And sorry, I was pitching the comic books for kids claim post that's up right now with all proceeds benefiting children, sick children in cancer centers and hospitals across the nation. So you good now?
I think so. Yeah, it keeps getting weird, but
don't you love technology?
only at times.
Only at times, exactly. And it's only like 20% of the time. So let's see, he's asked, do you make good money doing what you're doing? And then you were like kind of breaking up, so we didn't hear what you said. Sorry.
Yeah, you can. I mean, I charge clients is a pretty good amount, and right now I work for a great company that I get to use all the skills I learned as they provide me with actual clients. So I've got a salary at a company right now, but when I'm doing it on my own, it's I typically charge for jobs a month, and it goes up from there if they want more calls.
So how has I don't like to talk about it a whole lot. How has COVID impacted? I'm sure you've picked up a lot of new clients with COVID going on, with people trying to cope with things. How well does just doing stuff over the phone? Have you been able to? What's the word I'm looking for? I guess, have you been able to do the switch from meeting people in person to the phone? Have you been able to successfully make it happen, or has it caused issues with trying to help people out?
Yeah, I mean, I mostly do phone work. It's a crazy, terrible thing, and it's powerful. And when you have somebody to work through that, it can be a experience. My work at all. If anything, that's what people want to talk about. So really helping them navigate the craziness, how the world has changed, and then even people talking about it getting back to normal, which there isn't a normal. Everything's on top of that. 2020 was just a wild year, and murder hornets. I'd be pissed if I was a murder hornet. They only got like 3 care, they disappeared.
yeah. I think I heard about it for like 2 days, and then it was just like, oh yeah, the murder hornet thing's over. Which it's not funny, but it is funny. Like a week and a half, 2 weeks after the whole murder hornet thing happened, I was at work, and Steph Wilson, one of our chat clowns that comes in here. No, he's a good guy. He's a friend of mine. But he came in and he was like, yeah, so you got my murder hornets, huh? I was at work and I walked behind the truck, and, it's like 4:00 in the morning. So I'm just like, oh, man, I don't want to work today. And I walk by and this wasp gets me like right here under my arm. And I about flew through the roof. I'm like, oh, my God, it's murder hornets.
Like they were the size of hummingbirds, but I have no idea if that was true. But was it an actual murder hornet?
No, it was just a wasp. Yeah, no, the only place that they really found the murder hornets was in like Washington State. That was where they were at.
Yeah, they wouldn't decide to travel because they weren't getting the attention, so they just stayed there. And who knows if they're still hanging out? But
Well, that was the thing. They came over from Canada, and so they were like trying to figure out exactly where they were coming from so they could stop them. And then that was the end of it. I think the next thing everybody was joking about was what was it? Sodomy ducks or something like that. Sodomy geese. That's what it was. I was like, oh
Who the hell that is, but that sounds interesting. And
yeah, it's
I
not
kind of
very
want one,
nice.
but whatever. Right.
So what did you want to be when you grew up? Like, what was the main thing that you wanted to do before you entered into this path?
We wanted to be Michael Jackson. He was my idol in the 80s. That story has since changed because if I was a kid meeting Michael Jackson, I wouldn't want to meet him because of, leaving Neverland and all the crazy stuff he was doing to children. But I used to love making with my mouth, recording into one recorder, playing that, and then take another recorder and then recording another. And I used to love sitting on the front steps and talking to my mom, or they had coffee cake in the 80s. I don't know if people said that. Women that weren't working or were stay-at-home moms. I would sit and talk to them. And weirdly, now I create these storytelling albums. Before I had a lot of musicians, I would make the noise with my mouth and get it over to a musician who would turn that into actual music with instruments. So I was actually interested in, but thankfully it wasn't the Michael Jackson piece. But he was my idol. Entertainer, which anymore. That's for sure. Oh, you're on mute.
No, I'm just kidding. So one of the things we talked about before the show was, Secrets of a Life Coach, which is your series that you're doing right now. You said you were working on part 4 and you're planning on it being a 7-part series. And I was like, what is that? Because I kind of scrolled through your feed a little bit and I seen some of the motivational videos and you had a couple stories, like one of the ones that we talked about before that you went into the restaurant and there's a bunch of people that were, bashing, kids these days and the trends and the changing of the times. And then you ran into this group, these 3 old ladies that were just, totally cool and hip, and they were just chatting with you like, you were any regular person to them, and you guys had great conversation. And so we had talked about, Secrets of a Life Coach, and you said that it's an audio series, and you got all these musicians to do music while you're reading and telling about these stories.
Yeah, that was an actual story that really happened to me on a Saturday night. Happened for me, to me, however you want to say that. But my stories are themes that I hear from where people get stuck in my coaching call. So they're not true life stories of mine. They're fiction and nonfiction, to describe it in the most interesting way. But they're self-improvement stories that and that they help people who feel really head busy, really stuck in their life, don't know where to turn or how to it's different. Or like I was for a long time, who feel restless, that these stories are providing like a really peaceful, calm experience. You get out of your head and into the story when you listen to it, but you also it gets your head into the, and it provides a way how to do so in each story.
Very cool. And what do you plan to do after you finish the Secrets of a Life Coach series? Because you said you're on 4 or 7. Do you have plans on doing another series, like on a different subject, or where do you go from here?
I try not to plan too far because literally an actual book turned into an audio album, and now it's a full series. So, and this will take a couple of years. to create, about $10,000 to between the musicians and the recording. That I'll be busy for a few years. No clue what I'll do after that, which I like life that way. And show me what I'm supposed to be doing next. Right. My stories are so much fun to create. A lot of work, but the creation part is my favorite piece by far. Because I don't know, when they talk about people who get in the flow in their art, that's everything's about stuff like this. And
so, where can people find the Secrets of Life Coach? Is it something that's available on your Facebook page, or is there a website that they can go to?
yeah, my website is mikejamesnow.com, and the actual albums that they can get them off Amazon, either the physical copy if people still like CDs, or a digital copy. It's with Apple Music. It's kind of hard that I don't have. So if you typed in the names of the albums that are on the website.
Sorry, I'm trying to look that up so I can pull the link for that and put it in the comments, because that was something that I forgot to get from you. My life has been crazy the last week. Work has been nuts with all the shortages, with everything, with last year's events. It's still trickling into my job this year around, so we're really struggling. We're doing double the deliveries we normally do, and we're down a truck, which is not a good thing. And us getting our deliveries is fun because there's a driver shortage. So us getting our supply line has been cut off as well.
3 in the morning?
What's that?
You wake up at 3.
Yeah, I get up at 3 in the morning. I got to be at work at 4. We load our truck, and then I go out and I deliver motor oil to dealerships, mines, factories, all kinds of different stuff. But yeah, I mean, there's a huge shortage right now. I mean, there was a fuel shortage that happened in the South, and they blamed it on the whole the hacker. But what it really was is there's a lack of drivers. There's a lack of drivers to take the fuel, and that was part of the reason what it was the call for was for the pipeline that they were building that Biden shut down. And so, not to get into politics, so everybody in the comments don't start arguing over it. But the simple truth is now everything, is going to have to be, yeah, we're France, we're neutral. So, so with that being done, everything has to go by rail car or by truck. And with DOT cracking down, plus, with COVID, a lot of businesses had to cut drivers. Now there's a lack of drivers. They've got the trucks to send the stuff. They just don't have people to put in it, and people are really getting worried because the stores are shorthanded on stuff like, toilet paper and stuff again. And I think it's because people are stocking up. But the sad reality of it is there's not enough drivers to bring the stuff on the trucks. The places are making it. They just can't get it from the factory to the store now. Instead of the factories don't have it to take to the store. They have it. They just can't get it there. And so it's like weird how things have flip-flopped. So for us, what it's caused is it's caused a shortage of oil for us because we don't have drivers to bring it to us. Like we literally had like a week and a half we were out of something just because they were like, oh, we don't have a driver to bring it to you. And we're like, well, we'll send one of our drivers down there to get it. And they're like, nope, we can't get you until next week. And so the following week we had to like run to all these places that were out, and it's been an insane nightmare. And then plus my wife and kids, I was 2.5 hours away. I was in Jeff City, and my wife was up the road from here sitting in the turn lane, and a drunk driver hit them head on. And so we've been dealing with the aftermath of that. They had no insurance, and with the stuff that I had talked about, with you earlier about what happened last year, we had lowered the truck to liability to make ends meet. And it's like, the harsh reality of it is, life's rough. You do something to try to help out here, and then later on it comes back to bite you in the butt. And that's what happened. they got hit, and we only had liability because of the events that happened last year. We were just trying to cut unnecessary costs. The truck had been paid off for like 8 years, so it's yeah. My life's been absolutely insane trying to get stuff together. It's been. I'm sure everybody else is feeling the same way right about now, and that's why it'd be good, for people to find a life coach if they need one, right?
It doesn't hurt, but I also want to say super sorry about all that stuff that went on. That's a lot too.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's that's what it's all about, is pushing through, and that's what one of the things we talked about, backstage was the reason for the show was teaching, not really teaching people, but showing people that, good things can come out of bad stuff, no matter what happens, no matter what the adversity in your life is. And I'm sure you deal with that as a life coach is, you got to push through, obstacles. Don't give up just because this hurdle's in your way. Climb higher. And then there's going to be a bigger hurdle. You just keep hopping the hurdles. And I mean, this is a 10-year, and he just got kicked. I was waiting for that to happen. So, who all we got in here? I see 3 people in here. Why are you guys being so quiet? I'm sure he'll. Oh no, he's still here. Well, I don't know what happened.
No, either.
Hey, I can hear you better now. You were still lagging, and now you're perfectly fine. I hope.
Oh, good. Let's keep it this way. Yeah,
let's keep it this way. This is so much better because, like, I wasn't trying to be mean, but like when we're talking, it's like you would go fast forward for a bit, and then it would stop. So like we were here, you say a few sentences, and then we would miss a few words. So
yeah. Can you hear me okay now?
yeah, I can hear you okay now. What's up, Dory? Dory's here. So Dory's
Hi,
a
Dory.
good friend of Dory's a good friend of mine. She's a painter. She's a multi-talented person. So she had some bad things happen in her life, and as a kid, and so instead of growing up and not doing anything and blaming her not being able to do stuff on the things that happened to her, she worked her ass off to. She's a painter, a poet. She writes haikus. She's published books. She's composed music. She's multi-talented, and it's awesome. It's awesome to see somebody pull through so much shit in their life and make something good of it, and be able to cast a positive vibe out there. I had her on my show a couple weeks ago, and I've been live with her a few times, so she's definitely a hoot. So shout out to Diva Dory. And she's a comedian too. There you go. There's the other thing I forgot.
Like that.
What's that?
Well, and cheers to you, Dory. Cheers to Dory. So, nice to meet you, Dory. Thanks for making the art you make.
Hold on, my wife's yelling at me. Sorry, the kids are being crazy. Go figure. I've got a 4 and a 6-year-old, so you can only imagine the tornado of destruction that's upstairs right now.
Yeah, I have 2 dogs, and I'll just stick with those. So,
hey, do you want to be a life coach to 2 toddlers? I will send them to you. You can have them 6 out of 7 days of the week. We'll take them on Sunday. You can have them the rest of the week. We'll come get them in like 4 or 5 years. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't wish that upon anyone. I mean, no, I love my kids.
If they could cook and clean my house, and my feet, all things like, yeah.
Oh,
I might be interested in.
No, you're screwed. You're screwed on that one. They can't cook, they can't clean, they make messes, so you're in for a treat with that one. Now, I'm sorry. What did you say?
Watch me not answer my
door. What did you say your website was again? You said it was Mike James what?
James now.
Oh, okay. That's what it was. MikeJamesNow.com. I got you now. Yeah, because earlier you skipped at the end of that, and I was trying to find it, and I couldn't find it. There we go. Popped it in the comments there for everybody that is watching on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And I apologize, guys. We're having technical issues again with Mike. So we're losing you every few seconds, but it's still good. So what are some of your hobbies? So outside of being a life coach, what kind of stuff are you into? You know, do you do like martial arts, or you read comics, play video games? You know, what do you do in your outside time?
Yeah, great question. I spend a lot of time. I've got 2 dogs, so I'm a big animals person, and I love to read. Like I'm a whore for memoirs, real life stories and how people overcame certain things, and even stories about like when people disappear for a year, go in the woods by themselves, existed. I love books like that. I also weirdly love deadheading the flower garden that I have in the backyard. I'm a big nature guy. That's what I really love to do. And then, to be honest with you, I eat healthy Monday through Friday. That pizza dipped in ranch dressing. I'm a big foodie guy too, so I'll eat some disgusting food on the weekends. That's a big difference.
So I got you. You eat healthy during the week, and you're like, that's out the window. It's Saturday. We're ordering Domino's or Pizza Hut, and just out the window. That's great.
Yep. See ya. Do you have good Chinese food in Missouri?
Yeah, it's actually we do have good Chinese food here. There's a couple of places. The best Chinese we've ever had was when Roderick got his wish trip to Colorado. So like most kids asked to go to Disneyland. Well, Roderick seen the Royal Gorge Railroad on Channel 9 because he watched Daniel Tiger and Arthur and all that stuff. Well, he seen the Royal Gorge Railroad, and he just had a fit like for a while, because when I think he was 2. When I took him on his first train ride, we went to Kansas, and they have the Kansas Belle there, which is a dinner train. So you'd ride for like 7 or 8 miles, and then they uncouple the engine, they turn it around, and they couple to the opposite end, and they pull you back, and you have dinner, and you can see the scenery and stuff like that. And so he was always into trains, and I was always in trains when I was a kid too. So it was kind of a cool thing for us to do as a family. And then we went to Iowa, and we rode the Boone and Scenic Railroad up in Iowa. So fast forward, he's like, I guess he was about 3, and he's seen that Royal Gorge Railroad. So when Make-A-Wish Foundation came around and asked Roderick, what he wanted to do for his wish trip, he's like, I want to ride the train in the mountain. And they're like, what? And he's like, and I was like, he sees this Royal Gorge thing in Colorado, and that's what he wants to do. He wants to go ride that train. They're like, are you sure you don't want to go to Disney World? And I'm like, shh, no, Disney World, because with his heart condition, he can't ride rides. And so, like, that's the big attraction to getting to go to Disneyland outside of meeting Mickey Mouse, and that is getting to ride the rides. So we're like, shh, cut it off. So they're like, all right, this ought to be interesting. We've never planned this before. This ought to be, different. And so they did. They planned it. That we got to go on the Royal Gorge Bridge. We got to ride on the Royal Gorge Railroad through the mountains and see the mountain goats and stuff as we were going by. And the tracks went along the river through the mountains. It was absolutely beautiful. And so, of course, the first thing that we do is we're checking out all the food places. We're like, oh, there's an Italian restaurant. Let's check this out. Colorado pizza is not that great. Don't try it. And so, do what?
I said, good to know. That's important. When I go to Colorado.
Important. Yeah, pizza's important. Pizza was the first thing we tried when we got there. Yeah. And so then we tried the Chinese restaurant. There was only I looked up Chinese, good old, Google Maps. I'm like, find me a Chinese restaurant. It's like zooms out, and there's like 1 dot. And I was like, oh, it's only like a couple blocks away. Let's go check it out. Man, it was awesome. like it was the first one that I've actually eaten Chinese food off of real dishes. Usually you get the rectangular plastic tray, which I'm not knocking the food at all, but like they come out with these real fancy, like I felt like I was like an emperor or something. They brought out these really cool like flowered plates, and I'm like, and it was all laid out beautifully. Like they took the time to make the plate look nice and garnish it and all this stuff. And I was like, man, just the presentation's got our Chinese food to eat. But yeah, we do have good Chinese around here.
Yes.
That is my main staple is Chinese food. That gets me in trouble. Teriyaki chicken sticks, crab rangoon, General Tso's chicken. I'm telling you, good stuff.
Cream cheese wonton.
Yep.
So good. So good.
So good. So, hey, man, that we got to get out of this trench we just dug ourselves in. We're talking about food. We could be on this for like 3 hours. Bail out. No parachute. So, what kind of like shows and stuff are you into? Do you watch a lot?
Yeah.
Do you watch any TV or any movies? You got any like series that you're like super interested in?
My favorite movie is American Beauty.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's the one with Kevin, our what is his name?
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey, thank you. Yeah, Kevin Spacey. It's the one with Kevin Spacey, right? Yeah, I haven't seen that in a long time. I think it's been probably like 10 years since I've seen that, but it is a great movie.
I probably watch it once a year and I cry every time. It's so good. And yeah, and I like a lot of people, it's kind of generic, but I love it too. I like the of that. Just the whole movie I think is fantastic. And then have you seen Donnie Darko?
Yes. A long time ago when it first came out.
That's a really creepy, strange movie, but I absolutely love it. It's in my mind every single time I watch it. And just when I think I have it figured out, I watch it again and I'm like, what the hell is this? Like I have no idea what happened.
Yeah, your theory goes right out the window and you got a new one.
You got a new one, yeah, absolutely. And I would say my favorite TV show is The Wonder Years. Have you seen The Wonder Years?
Yes, that's a fairly older show too.
Yeah,
Is it?
Yeah, I think it came out in 1980, and it's so good. That's another show I like to cry. So, and it's another show that makes me cry because it's so like nostalgic and I don't know, those days of like when we were innocent and weren't in control of everything. Magic, all the stuff that goes. But such a great show. And right now I'm also rewatching the show. Just bizarre, but a really, really good show. If you want to talk about new shows though, like the morning show, on Apple TV, seen that? Do you have Apple TV Plus?
No.
It's like the back story of incredible, well done. So that's one of the newer shows I've been watching these days. What about you? What's your favorite show or movie?
Well, my favorite movie as a kid was Robot Jocks. I was really into like that's one that's been kind of like my big forte that I've always been into is just like mechs, Transformers as a kid, and then you had Voltron, and then of course Power Rangers. You had the Megazord, and so I would always build these mechs, and Robot Jocks was like one of my favorite movies. Like now I go back and watch it and I laugh because it's just like so super cheesy and corny, but it still holds that sentimental value because I literally rented it so many times from the movie place that they sold it to my dad because, I mean, nobody else ever rented it anyway. And they're like, here, you might as well just buy it because like this is on permanent rental to your household. But, I against the grain. Yeah, just give it to them. And, I really liked Loki. I really got into that. I'm not a huge show person. I will go back and I will binge watch. So I don't like, because I live such a busy lifestyle. I'm a father to 2 kids and a husband, and I work, a 50, 60 hour a week job, and I do, 2 podcasts during the week, and then on Saturdays I do the review show. I write a book. I try, indie promotion. I'm always sharing out projects and stuff, and then I had uh, fulfillment to do for my Kickstarter that ended. I just got done with that like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. And so like I'm always so busy. Like I'll watch an episode and I'll totally, watch the second episode. And I'm like, what happened in the first episode? And so like that's why I like
Yeah.
watching movies so much, is because you watch it, it's done, it's over. But like I can't commit to Wednesday night, that at 7 o'clock you have to watch this. But that's what I like about Disney Plus. So like, Loki came out, and that was like the first show that I legitimately like. I got home, I sat on the couch, and I was like, oh, it's Wednesday, Loki. And I turned the TV on and I watched, the final episode of the season. And I know a lot of people gave it a lot of crap, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. But everybody has different taste and stuff, and it's not a bad thing. Otherwise, everything would be the same, right?
Yeah, man. Variety is a spice of life. I know that's a phrase, but like it'd be boring if we were all the same.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if everything was Lord of the Rings, the Lord of the Rings wouldn't be as cool as it was, or Harry Potter, or those are both series that I was really into. I like to read a lot, and I'm really into like Vampirella, which I'm super stoked that that's one of the things I'm stoked for. So actually, 2 things I'm stoked for. Vampirella is getting made into a movie finally. Yes, I know there's already a movie. Anybody in the audience or anybody watching this back is going to be like, there was already a Vampirella movie made. Yes, it was terrible. So we won't even talk about it. It doesn't exist. But the most exciting thing is my favorite book series of all time is Redwall. The Redwall series by Brian Jakes is just a fantastic book series. He was an awesome author. He wrote great stories that you could really pertain to the characters and the stuff that was going on in their life and feel for them. And it was anthropomorphic, so they were animals, but they behaved like humans, and it was like, I mean, technically they didn't behave like humans, but they communicated like humans. Of course, what made the story make sense. But they fought wars and stuff like this. But it was a great story, and that was something that I started reading in like 5th grade, and I think coming out of high school. When I started college, he released his final book before he died. Of course, that wasn't going to be the final book, but unfortunately it was. And they are turning it into a Netflix movie. They're doing Redwall, and then they're going to turn it into a show to do the rest of the books. So I'm really stoked about that. And at the same time, I'm scared because their interpretation, I may not like it.
Yeah,
And that's
that's
all that
exciting. I
TV
thought
shows and movies are.
right. I think more of a guy.
What's that?
I thought you were more of a 50 Shades of Grey type of guy.
Oh no, I've read that too. My wife made me watch the movies. I read the books just because she wanted them, because all of her girlfriends were reading it. So yeah, no, I'll read that and watch that too. I thought it was interesting. I'll
Sure.
read anything.
I also love Thrones.
You loved what?
Game of Thrones. I thought was
Oh, Game of
phenomenal.
Thrones. Yeah, that's something I've never watched either. I've never watched. I want to watch it, but looking at how many seasons and episodes there are, I'm like, that is a huge commitment. Like I have Black Lagoon, the anime, sitting here, and I've watched like the first 4 episodes, and I don't even remember what happened because I think in episode 2 I fell asleep and explosions woke me up. Which of course it's Rusty Flow Studios. I was like, ooh, something's blowing up. What's going on here? But by the time I get enough time to sit down and lay down and
Yeah.
watch something, I'm like, oh, what? What? Oh man, how many episodes did we accidentally watch while I was sleeping? Now we got to go back and see what I do and don't remember.
Yep. That's hard about people. I tend to pass out quite a bit on TV shows as well.
Well, it's like you get aggravated. You get so aggravated. Like, I like The Mandalorian, but I felt like they really drug it out. I think they could have did, both seasons into one season, and I would have enjoyed it more. I think there was just a lot of stuff that was in there that didn't belong. The Crate Dragon was awesome, but that was another episode that I felt that from there on it just kind of drug and it drug on and it drug on, and then it ended, and you're like, oh, well, this happened, and now we don't know what happens next until next season, and then they'll leave it on another cliffhanger that takes 3 hours to get to. I'm just kidding, but
Of course. Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm going to call it a night. I know you said we wanted to keep it around an hour. I know we're having technical difficulties. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's StreamYard or if you just have a bad connection there. I know we've got this hurricane and stuff coming in. And all this stuff's just wreaking havoc on everything. I appreciate you being on here. I'm definitely going to give you the full screen, give you a chance to tell everybody who you are again and where they can find you, and a little bit about Secrets to a Life Coach, Secrets of a Life Coach. And I'm going to pop that link again into the comments for you. And maybe we can try to set up something at a later time when whatever's going on isn't going on, and we can have you on again. I apologize again. It's not anybody's fault. It's just technology, and it happens from time to time. Trust me, I know. My first 3 shows, I got nicknamed Freeze Frame because I'd be talking, and all of a sudden, and so everybody would take screenshots of it and like, oh look, Russ got froze with his mouth open again. Oh,
Right.
that's right. It was funny. So I'm gonna give you the full screen. Let everybody know who you are, where they can find you, and tell them a little bit about Secrets of a Life Coach.
Thanks. Yeah, hopefully everybody can hear me. I am Mike James. I am Secrets of a Life Coach audio series available on iTunes and Amazon. They are transformational stories that empower the busy and the stuck with fresh choices. So, yeah, if you feel like you're in a place that feels hard and you don't go, are really cinematic stories help you figure out new options for yourself. We always have choices, and they're almost so. Check it out at Mike James now, and you can click on a couple of sample stories to hear what you like, and then if you like the albums, grab those links right off the website, or click the button right on the website, and you'll be good to go. But Russ, thank you so much for having me. It's been a lot. I was able to hear and another time to talk. We'll make it fun and have a good time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. And like I said, you're welcome back again. I apologize. I don't know what's going on. But definitely I'd like to have you back on.
Okay.
We can joke and tell stories and let everybody know a little bit more about yourself.
Sounds good, my man. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you, bud. Have a good night.
You so much.
All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. And I apologize for the technical difficulties. I was hoping they would clear up over time because sometimes it's just, something in the lines or whatever. I definitely want to have them back on and talk to them about this. I feel like it's a great thing for people to reach out, somebody like a life coach or something to help them through stuff, help them get their life back on track. And, it could be anything. It could be the loss of a loved one. It could be a divorce. It could be, dealing with the world and the situation that it's in with COVID, dealing with a sick child in the hospital going through cancer treatments, like the whole thing with cb4k.org. That's a charity that helps kids get through stuff. Maybe one of these children needs a life coach to help them get through things, or a counselor. Instead of sending them to a psychiatrist or a counselor, you could get them a life coach to kind of help coach them through the things that they are having hurdles in their lives with. I definitely want to have him back talking about Secrets of the Life Coach. Guys, please go check out. You can find him on Facebook at Mike James. He's got some really cool inspirational videos on there talking about some of the things that he does. There's a few stories on there, like the one that we talked about with the old ladies that he ran into at the restaurant and he ended up chatting with for a while. And then there's that website there where you can check out his series, Secrets of a Life Coach. Please check that out. I hope to have him back again and get the audio issues situated so we can hear what he's saying. It's a shame that, technology in the 21st century isn't better than what it is. But, we have our things can't work right all the time. So, guys, thanks so much for being here. Once again, we're going to talk about the CB4K charity. Please check out the claim sale that's going on. It's pinned to the top of this page that you're on right now at Russ Explode Studios, Books with Heart on Facebook. It is also pinned to the top of my page, my personal page. Guys, please check out Xeno Nanite Titan on the shop. It is available now to purchase. It's $32. That includes shipping and taxes. It's a 210-page book. It's got 11 chapter illustrations, and it also has several color and black and white illustrations in the back. This is a 10-year project in the making, and this has a lot of heart and soul poured into it. It has a bunch of great artists that got on board. I'm so excited that this is finally published. If you guys want to run down on what it's about, Xeno Nanite Titan is the story of Raziel. He's a family man. He loves his family. He gets called back from leave to work. An accident happens, casting him into the far reaches of space, and he's trying to make his way back to his family. But is his family still alive? Does the Earth still exist? Raziel doesn't know, and this is the story of him fighting adversity and trying to make it back to his family and figure out what happened. So, guys, please check out his stuff. Please check out the book at xenonanitetitan.com. The link is in the top of my page. You can also find the CB4K apparel there. 100% of the proceeds of the apparel goes to cb4k.org, as well as 100% of the proceeds from this charity claim sale that is going on is going. Guys, we breached $500 yesterday, and I am so humbled by the outcry of not only the artists, and just people that were willing to reach out and send books and send comics, paintings, just pouring out their love for the kids. I appreciate you guys so much for doing that. For those of you that have picked up pieces, I appreciate you as well. Like I said, we breached $500. That's going to get 20 boxes of comics, stuffed animals, Pez, pop figures, all that great stuff to these sick kids everywhere. And I just, Mark's going to be excited when I send that over to him. And it's all because of you guys. It's not because of me. It's because of you. You guys being awesome and being willing to send your stuff, give selflessly towards this. Something we talked about on Dory's show on Friday is being selfless and benevolence. And so, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be long-winded, but I hope everybody has a great rest of your week. I am not going to have any shows this weekend. I have a work trip planned. We got the Golden Circle of Excellence from Mobile. So we're having a 1.5 year late celebration because COVID pushed things forward, and then they canceled it again. And so we're finally doing it this weekend. We're going to be going to Branson. So the wife and I will actually get the first weekend alone together in 6 years. So it's going to be kind of fun, and I'm excited about it. So there will be no show Saturday, and there will be no show Sunday due to this. I will be back Tuesday with Michael Shoemaker and CB Zane. We'll be talking about Scorpiana 3. Super excited to have those guys on again. We're definitely going to make fun of Steph Wilson because that is the goal of every show, to make fun of that dude because he's a clown. Not really. I love you, Steph. Don't tell him I said that. But anyways, guys, have a great week. As always, this is Russ Explode Studios with projects that'll blow your mind. I will see you guys on Tuesday. Have a great one.